What's up, YouTube? This is Bait here, and today I'm gonna bring you guys a never used NU tier match that I had a while back when Sableye was still never used. So it's like a month old or something like that, against someone by the name of Micro Sword 57, and it's actually really interesting to see where Sableye is going to go when the next usage statistics come out, because I think the next one should come out during the beginning of December, which is really soon. I don't know which day, but you know, at the beginning of December regardless. So that's gonna be really exciting to see. And Sableye was a bit of a troll in this match, you know. It did way too well in the NU, so definitely deserved to get banned, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see where it goes next. But there you can see the teams. I decided to lead with Sableye because I thought it would do pretty well against most of his things. Mostly what I was concerned was his Smeargle, which he might lead with and try to baton pass. So I was like, I'm gonna put a stop to that if he wants to do that. But he leads with a Quagsire, goes for stockpile as I taunt him. Then I'm just gonna burn him because that's pretty much going to cripple him. And luckily for me, he even turns out to be physical as he shows Waterfall, which crits me, but off the burn does like absolutely nothing. And he's gonna go into his Smeargle. Not really sure why, because he's just gonna switch out, and there's no way he's gonna be doing anything to me. So I'm just gonna go for the taunt, but he realizes that he can't do anything, and he directly switches into his Slowking. I get a chance to taunt him and then burn him on the next turn, which, you know, gives him the residual damage, which is always nice. And he even turns to be Life Orb, which is pretty interesting, but with Regenerator, you know, might work as a, you know, heavy hitting poke, and then you can just switch out and get rid of the Life Orb recall. So pretty interesting set, gotta say. I've seen those a few times on Slow Bros, I think, but you know, it's not too common. Anyways, now I'm just rambling. I switch into Big Lava Disc to take a Surf, and then I scout for the Psychic, and I go into my Magneton. I didn't want to switch it directly into Surf because it would do a lot, but he actually switches into his Weezing, and I'm just gonna go into my Sableye because I want to taunt him, and he goes for Stockpile. So he has two pokes with a stock. I've actually used stockpiling Weezing myself, but you know, it hasn't really worked. I probably should try it out in the lower tiers, like in RU, now that there is one, but it didn't work at the time. But I'm gonna do a bit of stalling with Sableye. Sableye is such a troll, and his T-Balls and Fire Blast aren't really doing anything. So after recovering a bit, I'm just gonna switch out and I go into my Pipitar, because I see that he has only Fire Blast and T-Ball. Those moves won't do anything to me, and I can just Dragon Dance alongside with him as he tries to set up those stockpiles, but I can go to +6 if it comes down to it, so I'm pretty safe here. And I have Smackdown and EQ, so I would pretty easily win that war. And he realizes that he can't stay in, so he switches into his Quagsire, who most likely has that unaware ability. So I'm gonna go back into my Sableye, trying to taunt him, but he switches directly into his Slowking. And I don't really want to start stalling him, at least not yet. So I go into my Big Love Disc to take the Surf again. And, you know, the Surfs are actually whittling me down pretty quick. And gotta say, it would be really nice to have the Regenerator ability with this thing. But unfortunately, it's not released yet. So I haven't really used that thing. I used it at the beginning of Black and White era, but now that I know it's not released, I haven't been using it lately. Anyways, I'm rambling again. So I'm gonna do the same thing as I did before. This time I'm going to predict the Psychic again, go into Magneton, who can take it much better now that I have the resistance. And this time I go for the Volt Switch, but this time he does go into his Quagsire, which he didn't do the last time. But now I'm just trying to speed things up a bit, and instead of going into my Sableye, I switch into my Swellow, because, you know, he's burned and he can't really do anything to me, and I can activate my Guts ability, get my Toxic Orb going on, and see how much the Facade does. And it does like a bit over half, and, you know, I guess I could stay in, you know, especially since he's taking the residual damage in the form of Burn. But I decided not to, and I'm not really taking too much damage, like you can see. since I am using the Toxic Orb, which is the great thing about it. Since I'm not staying in for too long again, you know, Toxic Orb is usually the better option, although, you know, I'm not gonna go into it, because every time... ignore me. Anyways, in comes my Sableye again. Gonna go for the taunt. In comes Slowking. You know, I'm not really sure if he has the slack off or not, but you know, having that thing is taunted is, you know, just fine. And since he is life orbed, I'm just gonna substitute down, because basically he's gonna die in 2 turns, coupled with the life orb and the burn damage. So he realizes that, and he's gonna switch out one more turn. And I'm gonna get a free sub, so that's fine. He would have either died or I will get a free sub. So, you know, that's great. And he goes into his Wheezing, which I can burn again. And getting the residual damage on the Wheezing is really nice as well. Because, you know, it's a poison type, so it's not like you can Toxicate. So, burn is the best thing you can get on Wheezing. So, finally I go into my Golem. Didn't really get a chance to do that. Or I guess I could have gone into Golem earlier, but... Sableye was just, you know, doing so well, and it burned pretty much half of his team. But finally I go into my Golem, and I'm gonna get a chance to set up my Stealth Rocks, which I definitely could have used earlier. But, you know, Sableye did pretty good, as I just mentioned. So, finally I do get a chance to set up my rocks, and that's definitely going to help, because there has been already so many switches going on during this match. And he has a Tauros out. I'm gonna go back into my Sableye and just recover off as he switches. He didn't want to get a burn on his Tauros, obviously, so he switches out into his Slowking. And I think I'm just gonna set up a substitute on the switch. Yup. And he goes back into his Quagsire, which I think I'm just gonna go for the taunt on the next turn, just to, you know, troll this thing and the usual Sableye stuff. Not too much going on besides Sableye trolling, but this was the last match that I had with my Sableye in NU, so I figured I might as well post it and get it out of the way. But anyways, Sableye doing more stalling, going for a recover. I probably should have sped this up even more, although I sped it like times 2 and even more. But anyways, I go into my Magneton here. Kind of a risky switch, because he could have gone for the Fire Blast, but I figured, you know, T-Bolt is his safest option, and I'm gonna go for my own T-Bolt, and I'm just gonna take him out, because I do have Modest Nature Max Special Attack, and this is a pretty cool part in the match. I go for Magic Coat, and he goes for Spore, so he's gonna put himself to sleep, which is pretty cool. Haven't really gotten a chance to use Magic Coat too often, and here I'm just gonna go for the Hidden Power Ice in case he switches into that Quagsire again, but he doesn't, and this time I predict the Wake Up and I predict his Spore again. Kind of a safe move though. I decided to go into my Swellow, and funnily enough, he does Wake Up, and his plans of sporing me fail again as I go into Swellow, who is already toxic due to my own Flame Orb. But here I'm just gonna go for the U-turn. He actually switches from his Tauros into his Quagsire, and I'm just gonna go into my Golem, and I'm faster, so from this range I can easily take him out with the Stab EQ, which I'm just gonna go for. So down goes the Quagsire finally, and he's gonna send out his Sawk, which I'm just gonna EQ, but he actually goes for Bulk Up here. But since I do have a max attack, an Adamant Nature on this Golem, my EQ still does way over half. And now he's gonna hit me with his own EQ. Not really sure what he has as his stab move, maybe Break or something. Probably not CC because of a Bulk Up, that would be kind of redundant. But it doesn't really matter because I have Sturdy, so I would have lived any 1 hits anyways. And in comes Slowking. I get a crit here with my EQ, but not really, I don't think it mattered because, you know, I have that max attack, and Slowking, the reason why everybody uses Slowbro over Slowking is because it has better defense. So I don't think it mattered, but whatever, at this point it doesn't even really matter. And his last poke will be the Tauros, so I can easily go into my Sableye. EQ actually does quite a bit, so I'm actually starting to think that he's banded here. So I'm actually just going to switch out, go into my Swellow, dodge the EQ, and then smack him on the next turn with the stab facade, and from this range it will easily be more than plenty to take him out, and that will be the game which you just lost. So yeah, Sableye pretty much trolled the heck out of my opponent, and he wasn't really able to get his momentum going on at any point of the match. You know, Sableye, definitely too powerful for NU, but it's like, I think it's BL2 right now at the moment. But the question of the day, like I was talking at the beginning, the next usage statistics are coming out really soon, at the beginning of December. I'm not really sure of the date. If somebody does know about it, you know, leave a comment below. But question of the day, which tier do you think is Sableye gonna go into? Or why not in general, you know, if you have some prediction concerning the whole tiers and everything, which poke is gonna drop or, you know, rise to a certain tier, you know, leave a comment about that. Like, I'm kind of predicting that, you know, Swampert could possibly drop to UU to keep company to the guys who dropped in the, you know, previous rounds, like Darmanitan, Chandelure, P2, all those guys, Machamp. Because, you know, you never really see Swampert. It's always, you know, Gastrodon there as the groundwater type, and even Quagsire is showing a lot of usage, so I'm kind of thinking that would rise. And then also, I'm thinking Tornadus is most likely gonna go back to OU now that Thundurus is gone. And then what else could there be? Doctrio is probably going to rise, because it's a really good poke to trap things like T-Tar in the OU tier. It has been used quite a bit. Even though I don't play PO myself, but I do know about this stuff. And you know, maybe I'll just have to call Wild Chase again, you know, when the usage statistics do come out. But I'll have to see what comes out of that. But you know, I might be able to talk a bit more, but I don't really wanna ramble, because it's gonna take like half an hour if I start doing it right now. So I'm just gonna save it for the possible podcast. But indeed, we'll have to see about that. So you know, leave your comments and thoughts and predictions concerning the next usage statistics and possible tier changes, and I will see you guys next time. So thank you for watching. This is TheFlamingSpade signing out. Peace.